We're going to start here with the quarterback waiver wire targets. And before I get into that, one of my targets is going to tie into the first little activity I'm going to perform here. What I'm going to have you do is I want you to go to any league you're in. I want you to go where you can see league leaders or standings. And I want you to sort by quarterback season leaders in point total overall. Tell me if anything stands out.
You mean Sam Howell being top?
Sam Howell is QB3. That's what stands out. What the fuck?
Oh man, it's like they threw it 44 times again. It's insane. That defense is the worst defense in the league. If not, it's like top two. So it's just points galore. Like that's offensive dream. So in every game, you just see points left and right. And even against the Giants next week, they should run as well.
I was doing some prep earlier, and I was looking through, and I just happened to click because I have him in. I've been the Sam Howell guy all season, and I had one league where I traded him early to get a quarterback because he wasn't doing well, and then I immediately regretted trading him, and everyone said, "Oh, you're not going to regret that. Sam Howell sucks." And sure enough, the next week he dropped his dud, and I reacquired him in that league at a discount after only 1 week. So then I just happened to be sorting through it, and I looked and I said, well, let's see, what's Sam Howell doing? I looked at him like, QB3. I'm like, what the fuck is up with the scoring in this league? And then I sorted through, and it's QB3. And I sorted to another league on another site, and it's QB3. Sam Howell is QB3. And even in this league, I have a claim in on him right here. That's the claim up top. But he's on waivers in this league. And this is a pretty competitive league. I mean, it's single QB, but QB3. Sam Howell is QB3.
Where's Josh Dobbs? Because I'm looking at my league and he's top 10. And I'm like,
7.
Oh my god.
Josh Dobbs is QB7. Good God, what are we doing? And I look the other one, Dak Prescott is QB4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been on a roll. Him and Lamb have been putting up like a 40 burger each week. Last week, it seems like it's just.
If you look at the top 10, it's all over. Like the top 10 includes Prescott, Howell, Dobbs, CJ Stroud. Who would have had those 4 in the top 10 going into the season? That's where we're at. And then Joe Burrow's down at like 16. It's really quite disgusting. But so we'll go over the quarterback targets here on the waiver wire. There aren't many trending up on Sleeper. They only have 4. I think 2 of them at least need to be rostered. Dobbs right now is QB7. Howell is QB3. Sam Howell needs to be rostered immediately in all formats, especially Superflex and Dynasty. Like I got him last week on a Dynasty Superflex waiver wire. So, I have no idea. He's just, everyone hates him. He puts up those games where they suck, and like he put that 4. That's where I traded him here, and I was like, shit, I regret doing that. And then he put up this game, and the guy I sold him to was like, oh, I fucking hate Sam Howell. Why did I do this trade? So I traded him. So originally I sent him Dak for Sam Howell because he was a rebuilder and I was a contender. So I needed Dak. And then the week later, I sent him Will Levis and a second rounder for Howell. So I'm like, oh, sweet. So now I have 2 top 8 quarterbacks in that league. But
that's crazy. Dobbs, I just don't get it. Like, I'm so blown away. And I was talking to Amit, who's the high point creator for the Commanders. And yeah, he's basically all in. He's saying, yeah, I would trade a late first for Sam Howell. So, take your word for it and run with it if you want Sam Howell. You're going to get a lot of points the rest of the season.
He's the guy I've wanted. He's the guy. I've been the guy on him all season. I'm trying to figure out this one. This is his lone games here where he had 249, but he had no touchdowns and 1 interception. That's why it was so low. But why was this one with 151 yards? Why was this still so high? What did he do here? Did he put in? Oh, 3 TDs. That's why I didn't see it. I seen the blank and that was the interception. So 3 TDs. But so look at this, like 3 touchdowns, 4, 3, 2. Then you've got over 300, almost 400, almost 250. He's had literally 1 bad game passing yards wise since week 3. And in that game, he threw for 3 fucking touchdowns. So it didn't matter. So like every one of these games, he either throws for just about 300 yards or 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like 290, 388 and 2, 150 but 3, 249 and none, almost 400 and 4, 325 and 1. So like this is fucking insane. I've never really looked. I've always been high on him, but I've never really looked that deep into his stats. Good God, Sam Howell.
he's gonna break the passing record, man. Like they have the highest pass rate of like dropbacks in the league. It's over 70% right now.
He
So
leads the league in passing yards.
yeah, he's gonna lead the league in a lot of stats, like probably turnovers, sacks, maybe like pushing up touchdowns and attempts, yards. Like it's an ideal format for fantasy for a quarterback. Like this is what we dream of.
I'm going to hit the B button here and bookmark this because we're going to want to quote this later. But I've been the Sam Howell guy. And all along, I said that if he managed to limit his mistakes, he makes more big money throws, is how they classify it, than any quarterback. He's got like 3 times as many as any other quarterback in the league so far. And I said if he could keep it up and with his rushing upside could minimize the stupid, poor decisions he makes, he has Josh Allen level upside. I may be wrong. At this point, he may have above Josh Allen level upside because Josh Allen can't cut out the stupid Josh Allen mistakes. So he looks like Josh Allen 2.0. Everything Allen does well. He has a great arm, a cannon. He has great rushing upside, and he makes piss poor decisions. They are the same player.
Yeah, like look at that rushing difference though. Like that's where Allen smashes. It's because he rushes for so many more yards and like attempts. That's the main difference between them. And that's why Allen's like QB1 right now. It's because his rushing attempts, man. Even with the turnovers, he still had 20 plus points yesterday. Like Josh Allen's absurd. It's fantastic for fantasy too. But yeah, it's very similar how they kind of struggle offensively sometimes and make bad decisions. It's what it is.
But it's funny because like I don't want to say a long-term game here, but the rushing numbers aren't actually, these are rushing yards right here. They're not insane. He hasn't broke 50 all season. He's like hovering right around 40. What's how I know Howell's only in the 20s or the teens. So he's double, but I mean, it's only really an extra 2 points depending on your scoring, 2 points difference for that. And the yardage, he's losing to Howell every week in the yardage and probably in the passing touchdowns. And he's equaling like, look, what's this fucking 6 in a row with at least 1 interception? Like the other thing I want to say, and I'm not saying go trade Sam Howell for Josh Allen. I'm not fucking crazy. I get it. But the one thing we see with these rushing quarterbacks too is eventually they hit a wall in the rushing. And he's rushing less this year than he was last year. Yeah, you could see he's not even on pace for half as many. Look at the yardage difference here. So when he does hit a wall, I think his arm is not as good as Sam Howell's. I think his rushing floor is better, and they both need to work on their piss poor decision making. But good God, I never thought I'd find myself comparing Sam Howell to Josh Allen as more than anything but like a joke. But good God, he has the upside here. I was gonna say he has QB3 upside, but he's already QB3. So good God, just goes to think if these guys actually had a decent offense, like or a decent coordinator.
Fuck. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see if there's more fantasy points between him and Josh Dobbs. Because Josh Dobbs is giving that rushing. So like look at his last few games. Dobbs is just 22 points, 24 points, 25 points. Like it's just absurd what he's doing. So I think both these guys are QB1s rest of the season, like easily. I'm pretty excited.
The only thing is, so he's got a higher rushing floor. I don't like this at all. He's not doing it. He's doing it basically on no pass volume with touchdowns. Like, look, his 2 bad games, the no touchdown games here. I get it was with Arizona, I think, but still, even with the rushing upside, if he doesn't get into the end zone, he's a waste. It's a bust, a big bust. He's living on touchdown luck right now, and if he doesn't continue to produce elite level touchdown rates, I don't even think the rushing totals is going to matter. So I would far prefer Sam Howell here over Dobbs. How about yourself?
I think he's safer than Dobbs just because we're talking about like he's shown he's not as good of a quarterback, but like in this system with Kevin O'Connell and how they like scheme up successful players, he's getting Justin Jefferson back. Like he has far better talent to like give the ball to as passing weapon. So like I think his floor is very high just because he rushes. And it's just more about the passing coming together for the ceiling, right? So I'd honestly be fine with either one. I really don't care too much difference. Like I'll expect Dobbs to get one QB1, Howell probably a mid-range QB1.
Aside from that, we've got Russell Wilson here and Jameis Winston. Russ has been okay. He's not really someone I'm looking to target in single QB unless I'm really in a bad way. Like, look at these passing yards totals. He's lived off touchdowns the last 2 weeks. He's not doing anything. He's rushing, but not like he's okay rushing. He's a desperation play for me. I don't know why he's the 3rd most added or why he's trending up. I'm not seeing anything here. Maybe it's just because they won a primetime game last night, so everyone thinks all of a sudden he's fixed. But that game was ugly. That was not really anything to do with Russell Wilson winning that. So, and then we wrap it up here with Jameis Winston. Oh, great. One sec. I had a sneeze stuck. So we have Jameis Winston, who I assume is being added because people like myself are assuming that Derek Carr is going to miss multiple weeks, very least one. Winston, you're going to see a stat line. I'm thinking he's going to be more to the 250 to 300 yard passing yards range every week. But this 2 touchdown, 2 interception, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3 and 3, this 50-50 ratio is going to continue because he's going to play YOLO ball. So I think you're going to see a weekly stat line of, well, we've seen what his potential was. 300 yards with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, or 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So if you're, excuse me, it's that time of the year with the allergies and the sinuses. But if you have a league that doesn't penalize you as heavily for interceptions, he's far more valuable. If you have a league like Scott Fishbowl that heavily, I didn't even know if they do it this year, but heavily penalizes inefficiency or turnovers, he's going to kill you because he's guaranteed 2 interceptions a game. But he might throw 2-3 touchdowns and 300 yards. So
yeah, that's like the Warrior Bowl this year. The Warrior Bowl heavily penalized, like Scott Fishbowl the last year. This year, Scott Fishbowl has no negative plays, like they don't care for quarterbacks, so I'm completely fine with him in like that type of format. But yeah, if it's a lot of points for interceptions and sacks and things like that, Jameis is going to be a problem. He'll be so up and down. I just don't think honestly they're going to throw as much as Todd Monken did back in the day with the Bucks, just because the offense is not as near like the way they did it in Tampa Bay. So I think he's fine though. Like if you need to add a stream every other week, like you could probably roll with him.
All right, I'm ranking this: Howell, Dobbs, Winston, Wilson. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. Like we don't know Jameis is going to start because they have a bye week in week 11, so then he's going to take over. And if Carr's back, Carr's going to play. That's just what it is. So yeah, I'll have him in that order too. It just makes the most sense. But I have like Dobbs and Howell really close together. Those two are like a tier above Russ, who's the tier above.
I have Sam Howell as the clear number 1. I don't buy Dobbs. He seems to do this everywhere. 2 or 3 great games and then falls right off the map. Teams catch on, and I don't like it.